Hello, I'm Connie Crawford. Today we're going to show you how to make how knits are draped and made into a completed block. From there, again, you could end up designing from a good block. But what makes up the block is very important because there are certain things within a block that makes it fit and not twist and not have the need for darts. We're going to demonstrate, after we finish showing you the block, our CS1207 pattern, which gives you a couple of designs and in the knit. This again comes from size 6 to 20 and then 1X to 6X in another package. To drape a knit, we're going to use knit fabric. How about that? And we're going to line up an inch in from the selve edge and come and find the length we need, and in the middle of the length put in a perfect cross grain. Once we have the center front folded under, then we're ready to line it up, that line at the bust line level, and pin it all the way up and down at center front. We then take this and drape it so that our line is parallel to the floor and the bottom of the drape is parallel to the floor, and we can put a pin in here. This area will control the bust cup, the neckline, the armhole. This only from here down controls your waist fit. Once we have that draped, we're going to then pull this, stretch it over the bust cup to the bust cup we mount, and our pattern allows for the larger bust cup. That's why CS1207 is such a good pattern, is because it's allowing for a bigger bust cup as well as the smaller bust cup. So we're lining this up so it really pins in nicely into a nice smooth fit into the under bust area. Once we finish the side drape and side pinning, then we're going to bring it around to the front and trim the neckline, leaving at a good inch or half an inch at the neckline area. Trim and clip it in place so it lays down nice and smooth. From there, we're going to now, with all this gaposis, we need to get rid of it. So watch the trick to this. We're going to pull a little this way, a little this way, and a little this way in order to get rid of all your gaposis out of your neckline armhole areas, and then pin it into place. That makes a dartless knit. We're now going to take this and mark in the neckline, rub off the shoulder area of the dress form, mark in our shoulder ridge, middle part of the armhole, and the entire side seam. For the plate, there's a plate underneath here, all the way up to the bottom of the plate. Once you have the side seam marked, then you're ready to also do a little trick, which is come in 1/4 of an inch here and blend it back to that cross grain here, so that that'll start making up your armhole, so that the armhole will be made from here all the way around to here. This ends up, this 1/4 of an inch amount ends up coming out and taking up the excess gaposis out of here. Once you have the front done, then you're ready to drape the back. In all other pattern books, they tell you to just trace the front off and the back to make the back. That is totally impossible in a pattern that will not twist. A back is longer in the back, so we have prepped this, the back neck mark, our rectangular piece coming down 3 inches with a back neck mark, another 4 inches for a perfect cross grain at the shoulder blade level, and then the rest of the length. From there, we're draping it straight onto the body, and now we're ready to trim the neckline. Now we're going to clip and trim the neckline so that we can drape it into the shoulder area and create a nice shoulder neckline area for the knit pattern, and stretch it just slightly to get any gapping or excesses out of the shoulder area. Once you have this, from here down, notice this is hanging straight up and down. Now we're ready to drape the side seam. Bring it over. Now that we are straight up and down, we're going to be able to drape this across onto the side seam. And drape this straight across into a fitted back. Times we will need to clip this into the waist area, but not to exactly to the side seam, and finish draping it so that it gives a nice smooth drape. Once we've made this nice smooth drape, then again we can, with our chalk, we can just mark in our side seam and draw in our armhole with the shoulder, the neckline, the shoulder ridge, and the rest of the shoulder armhole area. Then we'll come in the 1/4 of an inch that we did on the front and angle it into here to take any more gaposis that might be in that armhole area. Once we completed the drape, we have transferred it to dotted paper and let it snap back like a rubber band, and then we traced it off and trued up all the lines, which is making them neat and clean and balanced. And I'll explain balance here. We have the side seams exactly the same shape and length. Notice the curvature still over that armhole area. Then we have the front and the back. The back is a little bit smaller than the front. It is never the same size, whereas home sewing makes them the same size. We then are looking at the shoulders. The necklines are definitely different and the shoulders match, but you'll see that definitely the shoulders are different here and the back is longer. And that is why a lot of the knit patterns in home sewing twist, is because, again, what they do, most of the people do, is take a front, square off the neckline, and make the front and the back exactly the same. The armholes, again, are different. They are not even the same shape as the front, and they have to accommodate the fit of a real body. This is now the completed pattern of 1207, which is a basic knit pattern or a basic T-top. And from there, you can lower necklines, you can V them, you can style line them, you can cut them here, add flounces from here, you can shape them, you can end up making it sleeveless and making it into a shaped T-top. You can do all kinds of things with this. You can lengthen it to make it a dress and style line it over there too, and adding seam allowances in each style line. I'll show you a few samples of designs from this. This is the other design in 1207, which is a sweetheart neckline with a cap sleeve, so that you don't have to formulate and find out what a cap sleeve looks like. There's something about knits, is that knits come in different stretches. They stretch this way and they stretch this way, which is called a two-way stretch in the industry. They have, if you want a tighter fit, you can just go down a size. If you want a looser fit, you can go up a size. It's real easy to change it. If the knit is very tight, you might want to go up a size. If it's very loose, you might want to go down a size. So you have a lot of choices with knits too. So let me show you a few more now. This is a cap sleeve. So we just took the cap sleeve block and made it a V neckline and drew in a style line right here and added bias binding in it, and it becomes another design to make for a nice little fine T-top for you. This is a nice, another knit design with a nice cowl and an outside scarf area. You can just flip it to the inside and it becomes a plain cowl with a facing. So this becomes the facing. It's got a nice bias binding around the back neck. And if you'll notice that you don't use facings for most knits, you use a bias binding or a French bias facing, so that it makes it easy and quick to make knits. Now I'm going to show you one of our patterns, which is B5999. What we did is we took our block again, our knit block, and just styled in our style line and made a V crossover neckline in order to be this nice yoke area. Then we pleated this center front area and made it a nice flounce center front area and just style lined the bottom hem and gave it a little more fullness in the body to create a nice swing look. With this knit, the first thing we did first was take our pattern paper and made it a big pleat. Then we laid our pattern on top of it, drew in the neckline we wanted with the shoulder width we wanted, which was not quite to the shoulder neck area. We drafted it away from there. Then we were able to keep the pleat in place, and the rest is just the block all traced off. And there we have it with a pleat, a stylish pleat. We put bias binding in the neckline, and we actually, for flavor, we add bias binding in the hem area of this design. Cute, huh? And finally what we did is we put our CS 1207 pattern, but size 6 rather than our 10. It's a lot tighter, so that's all that we do, because shoulders do not change very much at all, especially in a knit, that we're able to just get a tighter fit, if that's what you prefer, in the same exact knit stretch. As you well know, I travel extensively throughout the country, and different countries too. We were in Australia last year for 2 months. But what we do is I bring all my patterns already sewn up, so that all you have to do is fit them and put them on, and you'll know the size that you want for your knits. Or on when we're showing in previous videos the CS 1201 or 1301 or 1302, we bring all those sizes already sewn up so that you can fit them. We're always looking for new customers to come and try on our garments at our booth. So look for other Connie Crawford's videos that will help you with your fitting, sewing, and pattern skills.